It's locked. This is despicable. It's locked, all right. This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further.
Sir, no civilians allowed.
Giselle's stolen money. Prewen has some unethical ways of financing their war. It's locked. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Glad to see you again.
Do you need my...
I can keep...
Of course you can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Do you have recent...
There are rumors.
As long as you...
I hope you're...
Goodbye, Miss...
Welcome back to my humble shelter, Doctor.
No, Sean. I
feel all right.
Are you still feeding on corpses?
No. It's almost as though the blood you forced me to drink has provided me eternal satisfaction.
How is this...
There's a lot of sadness and pain in my flock. I believe we're not fully through the crisis. You should do something about it if you can, Doctor.
How are...
Even if we're all children of God, I've always maintained a strict frontier between the two communities.
What do you fear?
A few years ago, a Skal decided to pay a nocturnal visit to my sleeping customers. He got caught licking their necks in the dark. Since then, I have added a lock to the door.
What if food became scarce?
The Skals can feed on the dead, Doctor. And until Judgment Day, mortals will continue dying.
How did you meet old Bridget?
When younger, I used to patrol the streets at night, searching for lost souls. This is how I met her. It took me 2 months just to get her name. Now we support each other.
Had you already visited?
Just once, and very briefly.
You really...
Oh, no, sir, I'm not.
Would you let me listen to your chest, Sean?
No, Dr. Reed. You already forced me to drink your blood, and I thank you for that, for I feel better now. But it was quite an unpleasant experience.
It would help me greatly if you would allow me to give you a physical examination.
I said no. I'm no subject of medical examination, and I intend only to obey and to kneel before God.
Have you seen Harriet Jones since taking her to old Bridget?
No. She is with the sewer Skals now. I don't go downstairs.
What happened?
I guess we recognized each other. As Skals, I mean. She had but one thought. To punish. To get revenge upon everything and everyone. I realized I had to bring her here quickly.
But why did she fake her own...
I just lost her for a minute that night. When I found her, she had caused mayhem across the hospital. I slapped some sense into her, and we fled before getting caught.
What happened then?
We ran here through narrow streets and backyards. She kept saying that someone was talking to her in the dark, offering to avenge her. But I saw nobody.
Farewell, Sean. Take...
Perhaps Sean knows something about him.
You again? What do you want?
Do you need medical...
I may.
I don't charge patients.
All right then. Yeah, thank you, Doctor. But don't think I take you for an ally of the working class.
Do you...
The place is all right, I suppose.
Are you...
Chaos is rising, Doctor.
You almost sound...
This world needs to die, Dr. Reed.
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money, too?
Yes. Here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well, thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know.
Why does that...
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
Well, I'll leave you for...
This Seymour worries me. Perhaps Sean knows something about him.
So much noise. A vampire killed.
Good evening, Mr. Throg.
Dr. Reed, can I be of...
Do you need my med...
Actually, I...
Treating a vampire...
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Have you
The
heard...
sad saint will always be a...
Are you worried?
It seems the guard of Priwen...
Really?
The guard can be reckless.
Goodbye.
So much noise. A vampire kills.
This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time. Good evening, Mr.
Yeah.
Do you require... I don't...
And is it you?
Seymour, why are you scaring young Rufus?
I don't like his act to gain me mother's trust. I don't like it at all. Little bugger is like a fly around shit.
Young Rufus seems quite harmless to me. Your support could change his life for the better.
I don't believe in kindness nor innocence, sir. The boy is either a fool or a hypocrite who hides his hand well.
Goodbye. I have this thirst for blood.
Shut the turquoise for a time.
Welcome back.
Do you need... Indeed, it would be...
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Here is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Goodbye, Mr. Watt.
Times
still
like
work?
these are good drinks just as likely to cause...
Do you require...
Don't feel so good.
Take this.
Tom always said we've got to keep the doors open. But thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mr.
Be he cursed or not, he's just another lost orphan.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Goodbye, Mr.
Times like these are good drinks just as likely to cause a problem.
Good evening,
as a
Mr.
soul.
What?
Goodbye. I cannot enter.
Jack.
scared.
Evening.
Evening, Mr.
So long, Rufus.
So love to gaze at the stars.
Good evening.
Hello again, Dr.
Can I see what you have to...
As long as you have... Foolish girl and her principles. She's got no idea who she's dealing.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Doc.
Bastard. My boys will avenge me. In the end, I will laugh at you.
You again. What are you...
Do you need...
Yeah.
So you can...
That...
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
You again. What are you... My sweet queen, who will protect you from yourself? Will you cry for me? Good thing you cannot see me now, Mum.
I should just run as far.
Good evening, Mr. Dillon.
What?
Perhaps I should shut the turquoise for a time.
I only lived long enough to see them wet boot boys get what's coming to them.
No one will ever know what I did. I'm gonna die with blood on my hands. No one will remember me.
Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
You tricked me good, Doctor. Tell me, who will take the blame for your murders now that I'm dead?
Good evening.
Evening, Mr.
You seem happy.
I live with Mrs. Fishburne now, in her house.
Tell me your feelings.
I am sad for Mrs. Fishburne, not for her dead son. I was afraid of him and his threats. I don't think a lot of people will miss him.
So how is your...
Good. I have a roof over...
Even if she did take you in, Mrs. Fishburne lost her son, who she loved very much.
I know, but it makes me feel funny. I should feel bad for being here after Seymour died, not happy.
Try to help her as much as she helps you, Rufus. Help each other through the grief.
Mrs. Fishburne has been like a mother to me, and it's my turn to help her the best I can.
So long, Rufus. Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course. Dr. Reed. Please don't stay too long, sir.
I'm so sorry about your loss, Mrs. Fishburne.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Could you check Rufus's health for me, please? I've been taking care of this young nipper since my poor Seymour died.
Very well. But why so nervous?
Even if he lives with me now, Rufus still spends too much time outside. He grew up in the streets, you see, and he's kept his old habits.
So, you lived...
Yeah. We both had our share of tragedy, but I suppose it's a relief not to be alone in life.
Did Rufus talk to you about his past?
I knew the boy had a hard time in the streets, but I had no idea how miserable he really was. And I suspect he won't tell me all that he remembers.
I'd like to know more about your son's death, Stella.
I was so afraid to see Seymour arrested and executed that I never thought about him being murdered.
With all due respect, your son has escaped judgment for far too long. I have no mercy for the merciless.
With all due respect, Doctor, nobody knew my Seymour like I did, and certainly not you.
In the end, Seymour avoided being judged for what he did. Does that not disturb you, Stella?
For months, my greatest fear was to see my son being arrested and hanged. Now that he's dead, no one will ever know.
Do you believe your son could have avoided being caught forever?
I have no idea. Sometimes I felt like he was becoming more and more careless. Perhaps he wanted to be caught.
Goodbye. It's locked.
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. Please don't stay too long, sir.
We meet again.
Dr. Reed.
We must both be nocturnal animals, you and...
Breathing the cold night air.
How...
I've heard
Man,
I am...
Why this...
I was all...
Have you heard...
I heard about his plan to eradicate...
Why are you so...
I was focused so much on making money, I almost forgot that my relatives and friends are threatened by this epidemic.
Have you heard anything from your family?
I was not only a bad landlord...
At least now you're ready to go back and see them.
You make it sound like you suffered from an absent father yourself, Dr. Reed. Well, I'll keep...
Have you...
Over the years, I'm afraid my grief...
Those you grew up with didn't...
Would you believe I was once a member...
What can you tell me?
If you really want to know, I was locked in that building for 3 or 4 days. My jailer was insane, mumbling about sacrifice and voices.
And why didn't he sacrifice you?
That was the weirdest part. He claimed to spill blood was not enough. It had to be done when some stars were aligned.
Which stars?
That's the whole point. He wanted me to talk to him about some Red Queen configuration or constellation. I've never heard of such an astronomical term.
What did he say about voices?
He constantly whined about the voice of his master, ordering him to do terrible things. He wanted to silence the voice by offering blood. My blood.
Can you change? And is it what you
I've seen what an altruistic gesture can do. Nothing forced you to save me, Dr. Reed, but you did. I will follow your example.
There is no need to thank me. Rescuing a London citizen should not be out of the ordinary.
You did not only rescue me...
How will you cope if you're attacked again?
I don't know. I've heard...
Tell me, Tadao, why was your abductor so interested in your passion for astronomy?
I don't know. We met a few times at the Royal Greenwich Observatory. He seemed to share my hobby. Then he invited me to his house and locked me in.
Yes. Astronomy.
Stars are not just dots in the sky,
You're right. But children love magic.
Protection by the light of the stars. That's sweet. You remember the name of these constellations?
Draco. My favorite constellation.
Memory's a strange thing. I can recite without hesitation the names of the 88 constellations. Yet I barely remember my own childhood.
Did he fake his interest in astronomy to get close to you?
No. In his madness, he spoke about a blood sacrifice to be made to his master when the stars aligned to a specific configuration.
Goodbye, Mr.
London has grown so much. They're all around you.
Good evening, Al.
I won't lie to you.
Have you any...
I must say that I'm feeling...
You need...
It's always...
Good evening, Miss Teasdale.
Dr. Reed.
Please, don't...
Good.
What do you do?
Before my kidnapping.
Were you fired?
No. It's just that after my...
Be very careful.
You killed my kidnapper by yourself.
What do you...
Dad always told me, Louise...
What?
I've never really liked this part of town.
What exactly don't you like about it?
People here are contemptuous and elitist. My dad always said, Louise, always treat people like you want them to treat you.
Louise, tell me what you really think about your father's sacrifice to save you.
I'm proud he went after me. I forgive him all his harsh words, all his bloody attitudes. I only wish I could tell him how much I loved him.
Yes.
Yes, Doctor. And there's no
You seem...
Dad was the best.
I'm sorry you didn't...
That's all right. He's buried...
What can you...
Never heard of him.
Really? He's very...
He a big shot or something?
Goodbye.
Why can't I forgive you, Father?
Mr. Crossley returned from the war. But... The poor man does not... Yes, Mr. Miss Reed. I leave her alone with the most despicable monster of all, her own son.
Hello again.
Jonathan!
Johnny, it was real. Mary brought me to the cemetery to see you. What happened to this family, my son? What have you done?
I remember Sunday walks in the park. Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may end. I remember when Mary came here with her husband and her son. They were such...
It's a pleasure to see you.
So you returned from the war?
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clara...
How have you...
I've done my duty. Like all British...
I understand. Luck...
Yes, and it's also true.
Venus, why...
Everyone laughs at Clarence now.
Have you noticed anything?
You mean except for your return to...
Thank you, Venus.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral.
There's no need to apologize, my dear.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Why is my return...
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise.
Have you any...
I heard he's launched... with you at my wedding, Jonathan. What have you become?
No invitation is needed to enter this building. That can't be a good sign. No sign of a struggle. It seems Charlotte's friend knew the killer and let him in. Blood. I should follow the trail.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question.
I'm the Marquis de Bois-Colombes, and I strongly invite you to find your own game, sir.
I intend to do so very soon, thank you. But for the moment, I'd like to shed light on the death of a young woman killed by a vampire.
A young woman killed by a vampire? Oh, you're joking, right? Oh, I do love the British sense of humor.
And who?
I am Jacques-Michel Guillaume.
You're French, but your English is quite good.
I was born in France, sir, but I...
Dear cousin, Are we related?
We could be of the same blood, my dear. I tend to consider all Ekons as family, don't you?
What do you do?
I recently decided to visit London.
You take pleasure.
I have been a totally depraved and...
What do you
take pleasure? Take pictures. Enjoy the show.
I followed the trail of blood.
Oh, you're referring to that young woman. Yes, the meeting turned messy. I'm afraid I ruined my last wedding good.
So you admit you murdered her?
I admit nothing, my good sir. I only regret the blood of that girl staining my clothes. Oh, blood can be so messy.
What happened?
She wanted to become one of us. Not the first time I have received such a proposal, but I must admit her direct approach tempted me.
And then what?
The body rejected my blood. It happens, you know, sometimes even with voluntary prey. At least her gurglings brought me some fun, until the artery burst.
Your cruelty deserves punishment, sir.
And what else is new?
Good evening.
I won't lie.
Venus is poisoning you, Clarence. She wants you dead.
So she really hates me that much now. My poor wife.
I'm sorry.
Why would you tell me that? First you returned from the dead, and now you tell me my wife is trying to murder me.
You're a stupid bastard, but you're my friend, Clarence. And I don't have many left. I don't want you to die. Not like that.
But I love her. I love my wife.
So you have no suspicions about her at all?
Frankly, it's my behavior that's been odd.
You need some... Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening.
I have found out what...
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest one and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure? To become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood.
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires. I never thought she'd actually try it without me.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights.
forgive you, Father.
Hello? Anyone there?
Leave me alone. Whatever you truly are, leave me. You will not be invited into this house.
Clarence, it's me, Jonathan, your old friend. Remember? I'm back from the war too.
No, you're not. You only look like him, but you're dead inside. You're a walking devil searching for your next victim.
Come on, Clarence. It's me.
All right, I'll let you in. You should not be here. You should not be here with the living.
Clarence, you need to calm down. I don't want to hurt you.
You're responsible for all of this. Was it you I saw in France? Did you follow me here?
What are you talking about?
You're one of them, aren't you? A vampire. You killed my Venus. You destroyed my life.
What are you going to do?
Well, we'll leave the city.
What can you tell?
What do you want to know? The address?
Goodness, Clarence. I just want to ask some questions about the old neighborhood.
All right, don't get mad. Lots of people have died, if you must know. Others have fled the city, and a few roam the streets at night, searching for fresh blood.
Do you now realize that you're...
Yes, I know it's true now. I only had suspicions before, but I started to feel better immediately after she died. Physically, I mean.
You don't seem...
I can't hate her.
She never believed your vampire stories. She was so ashamed she wanted to get rid of you.
Yes. Vampires indirectly forced my beloved wife to want to kill me. Are there any depths your kind won't sink to?
Are you in trouble financially? The house seems so empty. I remember more furniture and paintings on these walls.
You want to know if I spent my fortune to warn the world against you and your kind? Yes, I did. You want to steal what little money I have left? Help yourself!
I don't need your money.
I thought it was my duty to warn people. But I was a fool. I lost my wife. Lost everything.
I was just remembering the old...
Why? We were friends. We both survived the war. Why must it end like this?
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
What do you want from me? No, I know what you want.
Stupid beast! Mine! I'll take it. Bloody monster!
Good evening.
Goodbye, Miss. Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So,
Please forgive me, my lord, for my eyes were blind to the devil in front of me. My task will remain unachieved.
You again?
My son. Who will take care of him? Was I a good father?
Good evening, Harry. May I...
Sure. There's only pain and suffering in this world.
So?
I'm not bothered.
Have you...
Nobody dares to enter the dispensary now. Rumours say the nurse has gone mad.
Goodbye, young man.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world? Dreams are soaked with gloom.
Would you like me to revive you?
Good evening.
Change. My dear brother, I'm sorry. I was not strong enough.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
How are conditions?
I always...
And you're not...
Empty Christina. I loved her. I know it now. I should have told her.
Good evening.
And good evening to you.
No splendor at all. Oh, I see it now. I see it. Oh, the verses I could write.
Hello again, miss.
To give to this world. You stole all my tears and all my joys to come.
good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
A lot of people are talking about this.
Mr. Bates.
Evening, Doctor.
Have you heard?
Not really.
A man such...
Heard it closed after the owner's died.
You sound
As long as she was there at the dispensary.
Why am I...
Maybe it's because you lack faith.
How are...
The way this sickness is spreading, I don't...
I want to know everything.
Well, rent may be a bit hard.
I don't believe even you deserve...
Glad to hear. Nice to know.
You seem to have...
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare.
You'd better not come back. Goodbye, Mr.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Good evening.
Sure. I failed to protect Dorothea. I fall like she fell, but our fight is still alive.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am...
Miss, you don't see...
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats.
Have you...
The voice told me he is one of
What happened?
the rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones, their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do...
Do you feel compelled?
Yes.
Tell me about...
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Don't you remember who you are?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before.
What is the local news?
Shadows. Shadows hunting.
Have you recent...
The
I must...
rats.
I must go.
My poor face!
Is this the dragon? Awake. Is this anger I feel? Is it wrath? I think it is. Oh, how infinitely, how intensely, how irredeemably are you all going to suffer now? child! I will reap such innocence, abundance of gifts, spread the cross. Feed your mother, child! I was a good fool.
Is this the truth?
think it is? Oh, how infinitely, how intensely, how irredeemably are you all going to suffer now? Blood, feed me, give me their lives. I will reap the land, for this is abundant the harvest. Wreck the crop. Feed your mother, child. Do you think your champion defeated me, my child?
No one could ever defeat you, mother of us all, for you are our every root and leaf.
You've always been my most amusing son.
Then go back to sleep, my queen, and smile at us from your dreams.
Did they feel my wrath? Have they suffered enough?
More than ever, mother of us all.
Until the next time.
Until the next time.
So it's over then, young Ekon. You have put an end to this terrible menace.
Old Bridget? What are you doing here?
This is my realm, Ekon. This is Suaskal territory.
But they were all massacred by the monstrosity that Harriet became.
Others will come, engendered by deceitful vampires. I don't mean you, of course.
I thought you'd been slaughtered, with all the other Suaskals.
I was up above, in search of help when Harriet suddenly turned into that thing. I have no idea what it was.
It's over. I have avenged my poor Mary.
Yes, you prevailed in the end.
I hope you'll forgive me for the way I treated you when first you presented yourself at our gate.
No need to apologize. Really.
Perhaps there will be no stories told or songs sung of what happened here today. But I'll know the truth. Jonathan Reed, newborn vampire, stepped forward and saved us all.
I'm honored to be part of this city's legend. Thank you, old Bridget. May I ask you just one question?
How could I refuse you anything now? I'll answer just as I answered Lady Ashbury when we met a few nights ago.
Who are you? Really?
I was born with the name Bridget Eleanor Wellington. In 1738, my beloved and immortal husband decided to preserve my beauty and youth forever by making me drink his blood.
You were Lord Redgrave's wife. Then the pompous fool rejected you, did he not?
It was about 200 years ago. Peace found me in time. And I sincerely hope it will find you too, now that all is over.
No, it's not over. I may have ended the vampire epidemic, but I still need answers from the woman I love.
I feared you would say that. Go then, young Ekon, and face your fate. Just remember that I'll always be here for you.
London has been cleansed. This catastrophe came about when an ancient, malignant will crossed paths with mortal imprudence. For now, we are safe. For now. My craving for blood remains. Red like hate, red like hunger, red as life and death, passing from one immortal to another, from predator to victim, patiently biding its time to rise again. London has been cleansed for now, but there's a simmering hatred, fear, and old grudges. When will we succumb, mortals and immortals alike? The next disaster is only a matter of time. My only hope now is to catch the woman I love, to understand why she fled, and unmask the secret that has been lurking in her blood for so long. Well, this is it. Lady Ashbury's domain. Why am I not surprised it's not on any maps? I'd better hurry.
Beautiful morn, my child. It looks like dawn is here at long last.
Can't you just leave me alone? Your precious queen has been sent back to the bottomless pit from whence she came. The nightmare is almost over.
I am here to say goodbye. The sun's warmth exhausts me. Soon I will rejoin my queen in her endless sleep. It is over. You did well.
Why did Harriet Jones become a disaster?
You are the doctor. You hold the knowledge needed to answer such a question. Have you the answer?
I noticed that all the Icors were female, as if a male couldn't endure the metamorphosis. Harriet was also a bitter and resentful woman, as was her daughter.
If the Morrigan prefers despoiled women to become the vessels of her wrath, we should be thankful that but one disaster hath been cast upon this wobbling world.
Icors seem to carry various diseases. They did not merely turn people into skulls. Their presence alone spreads death.
Who knows whether the Red Queen awakens when cursed mortals endure such epidemics, or if the contagions emerge like a curse as she awakes.
So our beloved mother will just go back to sleep, now that enough people have suffered. Is that it?
No, Jonathan. The Morrigan has been appeased because you dared confront her. You have prevailed, my bittersweet champion.
And what are you to her? Her counterpart? Her opponent in some timeless game?
She is my mother. My dreadful and sour-tempered mother. She is yours too, in a way, but you are not born from her terrible womb like me. You are but a distant child.
What does she seek? Revenge? Retribution?
She seeks nothing, since she only dreams of it. In the ancient tongue, when I was young, her name meant Ghostly Queen. Pray she never fully awakens, for her wrath knows no bounds.
This is not over. I am here to find the true origin of the blood of hate.
'Tis unwise to interfere with a tale rooted so deeply in the suffering of others.
What will happen to Ascalon?
With your progeny at its head, it would not be long before this Ekon assembly catches a second wind. To discreetly control its plans is your decision to make.
What will become?
In their leader, you now have a spy.
What will become?
I foresee trouble for them now that your progeny considers becoming the new primate.
But I'm certain the current primate has no wish to resign.
Exactly. And I am not fully convinced your progeny truly understands what dreadful power he is about to defy.
No. I must know why Elizabeth fled here when I discovered she was the original healthy carrier.
No, she is not what you say she is. That is a secret you will discover soon enough.
And you? Why are you here? Which new thread of which old twisted plan are you seeking to pull now? Tell me the truth.
I am just here to salute my sons, and to bid them fare thee well.
Your sons? Plural? My God, will you ever stop speaking in riddles?
Perhaps I am too old for your spoken language. Perhaps you now have so many subtle words you no longer hear the simplest ones.
Tell me about William Marshall. Why is his blood so strong?
He is not stronger than you, only older. You are strong, Jonathan Reed. A champion of your time, chosen to defeat a threat spawned of this generation.
Is he here? Is William Marshall here? Is that why you're here now, too?
Have I not already answered that question?
His blood was not tainted. The blood Lord Redgrave possessed. That which I used in the serum. But what if it had been?
Then you would have failed, I suppose. For the blood of hate would have corrupted you too.
When he fought me, Geoffrey McCullum used a serum made of King Arthur's blood. Since then, I have discovered that it was vampire blood. Whose blood was it?
You just said it. It was the blood of a king. The blood of the champion I chose to save this land in its time of greatest peril.
King Arthur was also your progeny. Why am I not surprised?
Yes, he was. But he failed in the end. And for centuries the land suffered his defeat.
Who are your sons? Why do you bid them farewell now?
You are my son, as is William Marshall.
This is madness. How many have you created? Who else? Shakespeare? Isaac Newton? Alfred the Great? Francis Drake? Thomas More? Guy Fawkes?
My progeny is scarce, for I rarely feel the urge to protect this land anymore. But yes, one of those you named is your immortal brother. Maybe you shall meet one night.
So that is all we are to you? Puppets you create to defeat some threat born from a dreaming devil?
No. You are my sons. I am proud of you. I mourn when you fail.
Speak clearly then, and answer my last question.
What is it?
Did I defeat the epidemic?
Now you've found the castle, Jonathan Reed. Only you can answer that. Farewell, my child.
It's locked, all right. The castle walls look decrepit. Maybe I can find a way to sneak in. It's locked. The lady of the manor isn't expecting visitors. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I think I smell Elizabeth's perfume. She must be here somewhere. It's locked, all right. Like most castles, this one has a crypt, and it holds something special inside. This castle is falling apart. That sweet fragrance. Elizabeth's perfume. She was here, and recently. This painting looks suspicious. I can't believe I'm doing this. A sword and a moon are the symbols I should look for. I cannot enter. Elizabeth, my love, you allow my portrait to watch over you while you sleep. I'm flattered. I have this thirst for blood. What are these symbols? I can feel a mechanism, but it doesn't work. One last switch, and... here's another switch. I should keep looking. One last switch, and... what are these symbols? I can feel a mechanism, but it doesn't work. Here's another switch. I should keep looking. What are these symbols? I can feel a mechanism, but it doesn't work. One last switch, and... Here's another switch. I should keep looking. One last switch, and... voila.
Drop your sword, Father. You have nothing to be afraid of.
Shall we abandon this then? Shall we lower our heads?
No. Never. You taught me that.
Blood is approaching. Old but young. How strange. Shall I drink it? Smite it?
No, Father. He is a friend. Please, rest. I'll take care of it.
Caution, Elizabeth. Deceit runs through these veins.
I know, Father. What took you so long, Jonathan?
Is this really him?
Yes. This is William Marshall, 1st Earl of Pembroke, servant of 5 mortal kings, former regent and saviour of England. The greatest knight who ever lived, according to some.
And you called him father?
For he gave me eternal life, and much more.
I have so many questions, Elizabeth.
You always had questions, Dr. Reed.
Now that I stand before you both, in this vault, I know not where to begin.
We still have a few minutes left.
Where are we?
This is the Ashbury estate. I inherited the title when I purchased the castle.
Is this your retreat?
It's more of a sanctuary, really.
Are you not afraid someone might discover?
Do not assume that I would hesitate to silence anyone who tried to reveal my secret. Fortunately, it has rarely come to that.
Why did you...
When you told me I was the healthy carrier, I had...
You mean you had to return to the real?
Yes. To...
Will you go...
No, Jonathan.
And what of your daughter?
Charlotte is a strong, independent woman.
I have destroyed the disaster, this creature that Harriet Jones had become. The epidemic is no more, and London will recover. In time.
The city has suffered, but it will prevail in the end.
A more cynical analysis would be that this is an acceptable catastrophe.
I cannot bear knowing I was the cause of all this, through the use of my own blood.
No. This catastrophe was the result of unethical experimentation, and the will of a creature so inexplicably evil, she exceeds all the terrible wonders I have seen since my death.
But it was my blood all along. My corrupted blood of hate. The poisoned blood of my father. A healthy carrier. That's all I am.
We could cure him.
It's too late. The blood of hate has run for too long. The antidote would not work on him. I tried. Believe me, I tried.
Why are you hiding William Marshall here?
How could I not take care of him? He sacrificed himself by giving me the only dose of antidote he had.
He gave you the antidote?
Yes.
And in doing so, he knew he'd have to be confined here. And yet he volunteered. That's how great a man William Marshall was, and still is.
What do you do for him?
I visit him as often as possible. I paint the landscapes he will never see again. I feed him with my blood.
You feed him? You barely sustain yourself on the weak blood of the dying, yet you give him your blood?
After he saved me from the blood rage, I swore I would never kill to feed. He said the same.
Is he dead?
What do you think? He is a thirsty Ekon who has not fed in centuries. An elder vampire driven by an urge to kill and spread the blood of hate.
No redemption, then?
And yet he thinks he has been offered immortality by the angels to protect the feeble and to smite the unholy.
Can he communicate?
Yes. Sometimes he even seems like the noble knight who saved and raised me. But you know, the malice never fully leaves his eyes.
William Marshall infected you. He is the true, original carrier.
Yes. But he saved me by sacrificing himself.
Saved you? How?
The tears of angels. The cleansing of impure blood by an older, more powerful blood. It worked on me, did it not?
Yes. Blood is the definitive key to our species. Scowls, cleansing, lineage. Do you really think it worked?
It has, Jonathan. I was nothing but a beast who took pleasure in slaughter. I roamed across Europe, reaping my bloody crop. It was the blood of hate. But my father's antidote cured me.
Who are you, really?
How could I answer that? I went through many lives and identities to reach this day. To you, I am Elizabeth Ashbury, and that's all I wish to be.
I need to know more. I want to know who you really are. Where you were born. Where you lived.
I was born Elizabeth Samantha Mary Englewood in 1551 in Hertfordshire. My parents owned a pub in Hoddesdon. Are you satisfied?
How did you meet William Marshall?
He was an Ekon for centuries when he found me. He saved me from certain death by making me his progeny.
Why did he choose you?
You should ask him that.
Did you ever...
Not even when he was infected and bit me. He is my father. He raised me. He taught me how to behave.
What about us?
What do you mean?
You know my feelings towards you, Elizabeth. But you left without a word. So I'm worried about your feelings towards me.
I love you, Jonathan. I've loved you since the moment I saw you rescue poor Mr. Hampton in that filthy slaughterhouse, forgetting the danger as you turned your back, like the newborn fool you were.
You should have told me.
No, Jonathan. The William Marshall myth lies at the heart of so many hostile plans. I could not risk jeopardizing his safety.
So why did you come here? You knew I would follow you. I can't let you go.
Because I know now the blood of hate is still in my veins. No one but I can put an end to this tragedy.
I can help you. You can trust me, Elizabeth.
No, I cannot. You chose to follow Ascalon's orders. You unleashed an immortal Aloysius Dawson into this already fragile and and suffering city.
Would your protege agree to speak with me? I have so many questions for him.
Go on, Jonathan. But be careful.
Yes?
Sir William. My God. You really are William Marshall. You served Richard the Lionheart and his brother, King John. It is such a privilege to meet you.
I did in my day. Come closer if you want to speak. For my hearing isn't what it used to be.
I think your hearing is fine, sir.
What is it you want then?
I found and defeated the disaster that was threatening to smite London. You should know that the city is safe for now, Sir William.
Then may I call you brother? Did you resist its poison? Even a scratch from a beast so evil could endanger you and all those you care for.
You also defeated one in 1666. Who was it?
She was a malicious witch who spread plague throughout the city with her army of rats. She had been hiding in a bakery in Pudding Lane for months when I finally found her.
How did you defeat it?
We fought for hours. In the end, I had to lock her in St. Paul's Cathedral and burn the building down. I wanted to be sure she was destroyed.
I found your...
Once I understood what the ingredients were, I used the tears of King Richard and the pure blood of the valiant Boadicea.
King Richard and Boadicea? How did you find such relics?
It took me many years to locate their hiding place. Then I had to learn the formula. If I recall, it belonged to an ancient brotherhood. The Order of St. Paul, I believe.
And did it work?
Yes. The tears cleansed my poor Elizabeth's blackened heart. It was such a blessing to see her smile again.
The blood of hate. How does it affect you? Do you feel it now?
The blood of hate? Yes. Nothing more than a sneeze, really. A sneeze held for so long, you could blow a fortress down if you released it.
Can we speak about the Morrigan?
The Red Queen? What of her?
You met her, did you not?
Just once, but she never ceased to sing to me. I love her song. It is a song of blood and war. I only wish she would sometimes let me rest.
Do you know who she is?
I don't want to discuss this in front of my sweet Elizabeth.
Why?
For a time, she too could hear the Red Song. The steps she danced to its melody brought pain upon the world.
I would like to...
Vampire?
Considering your experience, please, tell me what you know.
They are terrible creatures. I have seen and fought many in my time. Foul temptresses with sharp claws and shrieking beaks.
I have never seen such a creature. What are you talking about?
Of course you've never seen a creature like them. Vampires are deadly, swift and implacable.
Where did you encounter such creatures?
The last time I saw one was in a Celtic temple near Salisbury. A terrible and god-forsaken place full of ghosts and pestilence.
Do you remember Myrddin, your maker?
Only God is my maker. for he created everything on this earth. He blessed me with eternal life through his archangel, Michael.
But Michael, is a vampire. He made you a blood-sucking creature of the night.
Blood, yes. I used to drink it from the throats of the unworthy. Then I was punished for my deceit. During my penance, I rely entirely upon my sweet Elizabeth.
Tell me about Elizabeth. How was she infected?
I do not wish to discuss it.
Please, Sir William. I need to know what the blood of hate is. How is it transmitted?
After defeating the disaster in St. Paul's Cathedral, I returned to my retreat, infected. This is where my sweet Elizabeth found me, for she heard my pain from across the sea.
Where is this retreat you mentioned?
In London, under Temple Church, beneath my empty tomb. I always loved to sleep there while listening to the bell above.
What happened?
The blood of hate had twisted me into a rage-filled man. I attacked my progeny and infected her too. Forgive me, Elizabeth. I failed you.
You bit her again? Is that how she was infected with the disaster's blood? I think I understand now.
Elizabeth fled, and I fell to my knees, begging for forgiveness. I swore I would find a way to make things right.
How did you...
Times were tough.
When was...
It was so long ago.
What did you...
I raised her as my progeny.
Did you really sacrifice yourself to save her?
That was the only righteous path.
Do you not...
No. This hunger is mine. I would feel empty without it. It has been part of me for so long. All I want is quiet. Silence.
You agreed to be confined here, then?
Yes. Once I was sure she was cured, I asked to be locked down here. I deserve it. The world needs it.
We could set you free. Let you out. Isn't that what you want?
I pray for the day I'll see the sky again. I have all but forgotten its colors. I could walk and do so many things beneath the stars. But I doubt it will be wise to release me.
Then will you stay here and repent?
Elizabeth told me it will not be long now. I cannot wait to feel the sweet caress of her hand on my cheek after so long, as she releases me. Has the time come?
Yes, Father.
Why not unleash me then? To see the sky a final time?
You already are the sky, and all its stars.
I'm not defeated, for I welcome the sword you bear, for it is mine.
You were never defeated, my lord. Farewell, Father. And to you also, Jonathan.
What do you mean?
I can't stand what I've become. This healthy carrier, as you put it. The flames will purify the poison that runs in my veins.
No! I won't allow this to happen.
I am death, Jonathan. Wherever I go, I can't stand it.
We are vampires. We are death.
No, Jonathan. I won't bring another disaster into this world.
I can't lose you, Elizabeth. Even if it means putting the whole world at risk.
How can you say such an awful thing? Where is the Jonathan I once saved from a scowl in this abandoned factory?
I'm not that frightened man anymore. I've learned so much. Done so much.
I see. So there is nothing worth living for in this world anymore. Farewell, my love.
Farewell.
One prayer for the summoned, called by this song. Child born from darkness, whose path he must find. Now the song is sung and your path chosen. England is safe, the price paid most dear. But what do you care? You are the one who keeps killing. You've chosen your path, my fallen champion, like others before you. Prey to lust and desire, slave to the everlasting thirst. My queen sleeps once again, and I'll soon join her slumber. Until alas, she rises, woken by the hunger never fed.